What's up, everybody? Hey, this is Mike, and you are listening to another episode of Hammered. I want to thank everyone for joining in on this episode, wherever you are listening to it, or if you're watching this on YouTube. Today, I've got in the Naughty Donkey Studios the one and only Mr. Mike Potts. Mike, he's got a lot of stories to tell. He's seen a lot. Former Major League pitcher, former state trooper in North Carolina. What's going on, Mike?
Man, how you doing, buddy?
Bro, finally we got you in here. It took long enough.
It did.
We were supposed to do this a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
You know, damn COVID and made us reschedule this.
Yeah.
So, but finally.
We're here now.
Hey, we are. You had COVID too.
I did. I didn't have it quite as bad as you did, but it was. I had it back in September, and thank God it was pretty non-eventful for me and my family.
So in September when you had it, like, how long did you go through it until you started feeling zero effects?
It was about 5 days. I just couldn't smell or taste anything. I had a spot in my forehead where if I breathed through my nose, it would burn, and I just wanted to sleep.
Yeah.
Which is not really a bad thing, but.
God, man, COVID put me into bed for 3 weeks.
It did. I checked on you about every other day. See how you're doing, and I didn't want to bother you, but I just, COVID's a real thing, man.
No, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it because I felt like death.
Yeah.
It's crazy, you know. It affects everybody different.
It does.
I had it. I had every symptom except for I didn't lose my smell or my taste.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I'd have traded that in for the coughing. I mean, to this day, it still bothers me, the coughing.
Yeah.
So it's one of them things, man.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it's over. And we got you in here finally.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So what's going on new with you? How's Mike Potts doing these days?
Man, I'm just surviving each day. Just thankful the Lord lets me wake up and see another sunrise.
That's true, bro. 'Cause you've been through some shit.
I have.
You've been through some shit, man. We're
Lots
lucky
of
to still
stories.
have you here, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
God. Well, we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But I remember when I met you, probably 2010. Somebody had told me, this dude's in the major leagues. He pitched, you know. And here it is, man. I mean, check this out. I mean, look at this guy right here.
Oh, that was a 170-pound version of me.
The 170. Well, I think we've all had them versions.
Yeah.
Do you remember taking this picture?
Oh,
or?
yeah. That picture was actually taken in Chandler, Arizona during spring training with the Brewers in 96. I was previously with the Atlanta Braves throughout the early 90s.
Uh-huh.
And, it was just very hard to break into the pitching staff with, Steve Avery, Tom Glavine, John Smoltz, Kent Merker, and who's the other guy? Did I say Greg Maddux?
Yeah.
Maybe Smoltz. But, it was very hard to break into that era of pitching because they were the kings of a pitching staff. So, I pretty much sat in Richmond, Virginia for 2 years, dying there because you're not going up to Atlanta.
You were in a bad spot.
I was.
I mean, those are 3 Cy Young World Series winners right there.
Absolutely.
And so you were kind of like, God, man, I didn't know that. I didn't know you were behind those guys.
Yeah. Then you had Wohlers in the bullpen and Mike Stanton. I mean, you're not going to if it ain't broken, don't fix it. And in the 93, 94 seasons, those guys, they were the best that you could have.
Yeah.
And but I was very fortunate because Greg Maddux, I single-handedly give him full responsibility for teaching me a changeup, which is what got me to be traded to the Brewers. And I eventually made that team that year in 96, being able to watch Maddux the way he would throw his bullpens. And, man, he was just incredible, man.
Well, I think
he's a professor.
That's pretty badass, though. I mean, you were in the farm system to 3 Cy Young winners. Now, did you ever get a chance to interact with them? Or what you just said right then, you learned your changeup from Maddux.
Yeah.
So that's pretty badass to just
it was incredible,
be able to talk to these guys. And, oh, man, I thought I had all my notifications turned off, and now see fewer notifications. Yes, please, no more notifications. All right, let's make sure Whoa. Yeah. Okay. See, I told you, Mike. So when you get this shit figured out, sometimes the computer wants to just bite you in the ass.
Yes, sir.
So do you today? Can you like send Maddox or Avery or any of these guys a message and they'll be like, "Hey, Mike Potts, what's going on, man?"
Not Maddox. I would really love to talk to Maddox. He was, in my opinion, one of the most incredible pitchers. He was just nasty. But I am on a couple of major league sites, through social media and stuff like that, where Steve Avery's on there. I don't talk to him, but I see what he's doing and what he's up to and stuff like that. Chipper Jones, he was me and him signed together in June of 1990, and we became very good friends throughout our minor league career. Got in a little trouble in Bradenton, Florida, the first year we were there. We never seem to make curfew. And cost us a little bit of money. But
what can you talk about those curfew making times?
Oh yeah, it was. We were. Chipper just. He signed. The first car he bought was this red Probe.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of the guy like him, where hey, let's go out. Not even worried about curfew, and he had just signed for $275,000, so $50 curfew break, he would always pay it. I was like, hey, I'll go with you. We'd come home at 1 o'clock in the morning. We're supposed to be in at 10, but we had some fun. Those Bradenton, Durham days and Greenville Braves. I played with Chipper in Richmond. He was only there for about maybe a month. And then he went on up, and you see the career the guy had. I mean, it's an astonishing career.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
You actually, he got inducted into the Durham Bulls Hall of Fame.
Yes.
A couple of years ago.
2000. It was March or April of 2013 after my incident that we'll get to later on. But I actually spoke at his. Retiring of his jersey for the Durham Bulls. And it was good to see him and Brian Coates and Brad Ripplemeyer was our catcher. And, a couple other guys were there, for his retirement of his jersey. And, I mean, it was a good time. It was a good reunion. Chipper is just an incredible guy.
Yeah.
And just fun to be around. And, it was great to watch him show up that first day saying, hey, this is #1 draft pick. Let's see what he's got. Struck out.
Wow.
I'll never forget. We were playing the Rangers that day.
Yeah.
In Bradenton, Florida, and struck out. Had a couple of errors at shortstop. I'm like.
He was playing shortstop back in the day.
That's what he came in as a shortstop.
Yeah.
And, but to see that first initial image of him and to see where he's at now, he did some incredible things. I mean, he holds the record for the most home runs by a switch hitter. That's in his career. Everybody saw his career. Yeah. It was incredible. I mean, the boy's he's a full-grown man, but he's one of the most incredible ball players I've ever been able to step on the field with, and I'm very honored.
And the dude, man. That's crazy. That's awesome, man. Where are you? Where were you born and raised, man? You were from Georgia, right?
Yeah, I was born in Lithonia, Georgia. Nobody's ever heard of it. It's 30 miles south of Atlanta, or southeast of Atlanta, near Stone Mountain. Mm-hmm. And that's where I went to school at. And I went to Lithonia High School. And, enjoyed my time there.
So when were you like, oh, shit, I can play baseball?
I always thought I was going to be a football player. Because my dad was 6'5", about 330 pounds. He was a fullback at Auburn. And I wanted to follow through him. And, my dad always told me, he said, I was 5'9", 150 pounds in high school. Mm-hmm. You're not going to make it. Sorry. And he said, you're a better baseball player than you are a football player. Never thought about it.
Were you a quarterback?
I was a cornerback and a punter.
Oh, a cornerback.
Yeah, I played defense, and I was always quick. I could run very well. Can't no more.
Yeah,
But,
well, that's all of us, man. When you get north of 40,
yes, sir.
Oh God.
But it was, that's what I always thought my path was going to take me was football. But obviously, I look at myself now, and I look at myself back at 23 years old. No, that wasn't going to happen. I was a better baseball player, but I just never really cared about it.
I pictured you to be a quarterback, man, with a strong arm.
I tried, but my vision just wasn't good enough to look across the field, and I was just too short. But
well, I mean, there's some quarterbacks out there now. You got like Kyler Murray.
Oh,
I think he's like 5'10".
Yeah, Drew Brees. I mean, he's not a real big guy, but his numbers don't lie, man. He's number one.
So what happened? What made the transition to baseball?
Man, right? I just, I played baseball every year, and I got drafted. I got drafted by the Cleveland Indians in 1989, and, I just
Now, didn't you got drafted in 89 by the Indians, but you didn't sign with them, right?
No, I didn't sign with them. We just had his money.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, it was money. And went back in the draft in 1990, and the Braves drafted me in the 18th round, and, I was an Atlanta boy.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, I'm, in my mind, I didn't know nothing about minor leagues or nothing like that, or how you had to, work your way through the system. I thought you just, hey, I'm going to play at Fulton County Stadium.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the case. So I was, always wanted to be a Brave. So when Braves drafted me, I was very, very happy. So I signed immediately with them.
Oh, I bet, man.
Yeah.
Do you get, I'm curious, since you were on their minor league teams when they won all those World Series in the 90s, do you get a ring or something?
No, not in the minor leagues you don't. You have to spend at least one day on the active roster, the 25-man roster, in order to get that ring.
Oh, okay.
I've seen it. I have a couple of friends that, Sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead, man.
No.
Potts is a very important man, and his phone just blows up all the time, So
I had that off, but yeah, it was you don't get to get that ring, but I was a part of the 1993 Greenville Braves, where we won over 100 games that year. We played 152 games, and we won, I think it was 103 games. We destroyed everybody. I mean, when you got guys like, Javi Lopez, Chipper Jones, we had them all. Pedro Bobon. I mean, it was incredible.
I got like some stats right here, man. You played like it says on. Where did I get this from? Like it was like baseball stats or something like that. So you played from 1990 to 96. In 1990, you played for Gulf Coast Braves.
Right, that was the Bradenton, Florida team.
Okay, and let's see, you got 5 wins, 2 losses.
Yeah.
And where's that ERA at? At 3.46.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you remember all this stuff? Do you?
I don't remember the numbers, but I remember, being in high school. I do 90 miles an hour in high school.
Oh.
So I was blowing guys away. So when I went to professional baseball, and they put me in that first game we were playing the Texas Rangers, their Gulf Coast team like the Braves was, and I didn't strike nobody out, and I just wanted to cry because I was like, they hit the ball, and they said, yeah, but you do 7 pitches and you're out of the inning, and that's what it was all about.
Yeah,
it's like Phil Necro, God rest his soul, he just passed away.
Yeah, he did
not too long ago, and Phil Necro's philosophy when he would talk to us in spring training every year was that batter needs to be on first base or out in 4 pitches. That was his philosophy. He said, no, we don't. It's all about pitch count. And, I tried to live by that, but, I was a guy like Glavine. I'm not comparing myself to Tom Glavine by no means. Don't get me wrong, but I like to live on that outside corner because lefties the ball would fade away.
Yeah.
And once you came inside, a few times, it gets them back off the plate, and then you can nibble out there on the corner.
You were a left-handed pitcher too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So it was, it kind of hurt my feelings knowing that everybody was hitting the ball. Now it's time to learn how to pitch.
Yeah.
Instead of throwing. And
it's a science, right?
It is. And what better person than Greg Max to say, this is why you have to go up and down, side to side, changing speeds. I mean, Max didn't throw 88 miles an hour. But he made people look foolish.
His accuracy
all the
was
time.
crazy.
It was insane. Absolutely insane.
I look back at growing up and playing little league ball, and I sucked. I remember being put into a game one day because I wanted to pitch so bad, and I walked like 5 batters in a row before I didn't throw not one strike.
Yeah,
I
it
was
ain't
awful.
that easy. You know, it's tough what those guys do. You know,
Yeah.
But now all these guys are throwing 100+ miles an hour. It's crazy.
How fast can you throw right now? You think?
Right this second?
Yeah.
41.
For
But I need an ambulance and a bottle of oxygen. Immediately afterwards. But
you ever been to those like carnival games and through and?
Well,
Yeah.
I say that because I took my son to a Mudcats game, and he said, "Hey, Dad, go over here and throw."
See what you got.
Yeah, 41, and it hurt for like 3 days. I was like, God.
Bro, agent sucks.
It does.
Oh my God,
does.
it's
It
so
is.
bad.
My body hurts.
Oh God. So it also So in 1991, you've been around, man,
Yeah.
for the Braves organization.
Yeah,
but you played for the Macon Braves. Then you came home to Durham and played with the Bulls for a season.
Bull City.
How was that, man?
Man, I loved. I mean, that was. I think the movie came out in 89. Is that right?
Ugh, that's
You're a movie buff. Is that 88, 89, something like that?
it's around in there, I think. Late
Yeah.
80s. We'll call it late 80s.
Late 80s.
I need a fact checker.
Yeah.
Let's
And then
get one off Facebook. They're so good at that.
So now I was there in 92,
Yeah.
and that was great. Durham was an incredible place to play. And I played in the old stadium. I didn't get played in the new stadium, but
Yeah.
it was so much fun. Loved Durham. So much that I stayed.
Yeah.
I stayed up here, and I've been here since 92, and I haven't looked back. My mom and my sister still in Georgia, but I never looked back, and I love it up here.
You played after Durham. You went to Greenville and Richmond Braves for a couple of seasons.
Yeah.
The New Orleans Zephyrs. Is that?
Yeah.
What was up with that? What?
Well,
it looks like that's where you
90s.
kind of got your call up.
no, I was actually sent down from the big leagues.
Oh, sent
Two.
down.
Yeah, I think I went. I think I was. Made the club in '96 out of spring training, and I was sent down in late July. I think it was after July 4th because I specifically remember playing at Yankee Stadium on July 4th, and they were.
I bet that was badass.
Oh my God, Yankee Stadium was incredible, but they loved the Yankees there, and I remember we had a canopy, and they were throwing D-sized batteries at us.
Oh my God.
And they were just coming through the canopy. And it was scary because you didn't want to get up to have to get ready to go in the game because, a D-sized battery is going to hurt. I mean, from
Especially
a
you got
distance.
somebody hawking them up from
Right.
above.
So-
I'll tell you what I'm going to do, Mike, right quick. I'm going to move this microphone because it's blocking the camera right here. Hey, everybody. Hey. Let's see. That should be a little bit better. Or I'll just take it down altogether. There we go. More improvisions during the cast.
Yes, sir.
It happens.
It does, especially in small towns.
We're not big time like Joe Rogan here. We don't have producers that can set all this up beforehand. Oh, that's better. Now you don't have that microphone blocking you. So you played for the Brewers. So in '96 you were called up to the bigs.
I made the team out of spring training.
Okay, okay.
And just some things. Honestly, I'm not taking nothing away. The American League is very difficult to pitch in because you don't have to face a pitcher. Mm-hmm. In the National League, they have a pitcher hitting. Typically, your ninth place hitter in the National League is your pitcher.
Yeah.
Well, in the American League, that ninth place hitter is typically a third place hitter in the American League. At least it was back when I played.
Yeah.
And, you're facing – I mean, these guys are – we talked about this earlier about the Chicago White Sox. I could never get them out. And if you don't mind, I'll tell a story about Comiskey Park one day.
Go ahead, man. Let's hear it.
So the wind was blowing in Chicago that day. We're going to say that. But I was brought in to face Robin Ventura. And, Hall of Fame, or he's a college Hall of Fame guy.
Oh, he's the one that got beat up by Nolan Ryan,
Yes.
too. Yeah,
Nolan
okay.
Ryan smoked him, dude. I'm sorry. Yeah, that is correct. But, he hit a home run off of me, and I was like, God, he hit that 7 miles. So here comes Frank Thomas, and I've already faced Frank Thomas 2 other times, and he hit home runs off of me. So here comes Frank Thomas, and he just blasts one about 7 miles in the air. And I thought the shortstop was going to catch it. Well, it ended up going about 6 rows back in, the left field.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, wow. There's a picture of, with me rubbing my forehead just going, golly.
So to interrupt you for one second, every time you see a Frank Thomas commercial where he's peddling testosterone, you go, this motherfucker right here.
I go, why are you haunting my dreams? I already have nightmares about you. The guy filled up the right-handed batter's box. He's a beast of a guy.
Yeah.
And, Hall of Famer, I tip my hat to him, man. I mean, that guy was, he's, I think I've looked it up before, 6'6", 330 pounds.
God.
That's a full-grown man right there. He was a beast, but, God, he could hit a ball a mile.
And he lit you up, huh?
He did. He got me 3 times. I did get him out one time.
3 times?
Yeah.
Not in the same game, right?
No, not in the same game, but he got me 3 different times. And, the one time I got him out, the right fielder went over the wall and brought it back.
Did you buy that guy a beer after the game?
I had to buy him a steak dinner.
That's worth it.
Yeah, thank you. I got him out one time. It's fun, man.
Oh, wow, man. What other kind of stories you got, man, from your major league time? Come on, you got to have clubhouse stories. What's the craziest thing that you did while you were in the majors, if you could talk about it?
Yeah, we're going to have to. Yeah.
So
we'll talk about that later.
Who was on the Brewers when you played in '96?
I was there with Greg Vaughn, which credible guy, man. He took me underneath his wing and kind of, made sure that I was okay. He was our left fielder. Credible guy. We had Mike Fetters. He was our closer. Robin Yount was one of our hitting instructors. Kevin Setzer, third baseman. Mike Matheny, who was our catcher, and he went on long to be the Cardinals manager, won a World Series.
Okay, yeah.
So great for him, great guy. After my incident, he was one of the few that did call was Mike Matheny, and check on me and stuff like that. But he was trying to think who our John Jaha was our first baseman. Chuck Carr, one of the fastest guys I've ever seen in my life. He was our center fielder. That guy could fly. And it was glad to have him covering so much area out there because he was tracking a lot of my balls that were being hit out there and, and catching them. But, it was a rebuilding year for the Brewers. Yeah. But it was fun.
Well, I'm looking at the stats from 90 to 96. So you didn't give up too many home runs. There was your year with the Greenville Braves, you gave up 7.
Yeah.
But then you went to the majors and gave up 7 in that short period of time.
I remember every one of them.
It's a different time, different league, right?
Well, them guys are making millions of dollars a year to hit a baseball.
Yeah.
So, these are not sloucher, guys. I mean, these guys, they're there to earn money too.
Well, you played 24 games, so I mean, that's.
I was a setup guy. Is what they. I would come in and set up for the closer. So I would come in because it always worked out. In the 8th inning, your lefties would come up and they wanted lefty, battles.
Yeah.
Like Ken Griffey Jr. Love Ken Griffey Jr. to death. One of the greatest players. I can't find the stats. I have no proof of this except for I was there.
Yeah.
I faced him 3 times, struck him out 1 time, popped up to first base, foul territory 1 time, and popped him up to shortstop 1 time. So he's 0 for 3 against me.
How about that?
Yeah.
Not too many people can say, Ken Griffey went 0 for 3 against me.
Sir.
Yeah. All right, so let's test you here. I want to hear. Oh. So you got 7 home runs given up as a Brewers pitcher.
Yeah.
Who was number 1?
Geronimo Baroa.
I think it's amazing that you remember this.
I'll never forget it. It was in Oakland, and he hit it 7 miles.
Good God.
Yeah, Geronimo Baroa.
I've never even heard of him.
He was a big time player back in the day, and that was the McGuire era.
Yeah.
And Canseco and stuff like that. I remember we were at the Pfeiffer Hotel, and me and my first wife, we were coming around the corner, and the A's were in town to play us, and my first wife runs into Mark McGuire. And she says, "Oh, my God, excuse you." And he's like, "I'm sorry, ma'am, I apologize." Very apologetic.
Yeah.
And I'm looking up at this big bear of a man, and I said, "You know who that was?" She says, "No." And I said, "That was Mark McGuire." And she goes, he's very, very hard in his body. I'm like, he's full grown.
You should have told him, I'm going to see you probably tonight or tomorrow night, bud. Let's get a strikeout on you. Did you ever get to face those guys?
I never faced McGuire or Canseco, but I was we went to Oakland, and the night that Geraldo Baroa crushed my dreams and hit the first home run off of me, we were watching McGuire and Canseco take BP with aluminum bats. And they were hitting them out of Oakland Coliseum.
Oh, my God.
I don't know where they play at now, if it's still the Coliseum or not, but, I mean, it was, wow. Those guys are huge.
Well, let me ask you, man, because you were a pitcher in that whole era, steroid era. What did you think about that when all of it came out, that everybody was juicing back then?
It was available. I'm going to tell you, I know it was available.
You saw it all the time in the locker rooms, I'm sure.
It was available.
Yeah. Well, how'd you feel about it as a pitcher, knowing that these guys probably had a leg up on you?
Honestly, I'll tell you this right here. Barry Bonds is not my favorite baseball player, by no means.
Yeah.
But the man still had to hit the baseball. No matter how big and strong you are, you still had to hit it.
Yeah.
So
still got to see it.
Yeah. You still gotta hit the ball. So for that, I'm really not mad about it, even as a pitcher, because you still got to hit the ball, and the things you're doing to your body too is hurting you. But anyway, if it helped them, hit, instead of hitting 340-foot home runs, they wanted 500-foot home runs. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But
the thing that gets me about that whole era, if it wasn't for the Bash brothers, McGuire and Sosa and Canseco, baseball would have went away, because there was a strike in 94, wasn't it? And
yes.
94, 95, something like that.
Yes.
And ratings were like tanking.
They were.
Nobody watched baseball. Then those guys got it back, and was Bud Selig the commissioner at the time?
He was also my manager, or my owner of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Really?
So I had to deal with that on that side too.
Well, you can YouTube all these press conferences he had where he was basically all over their nuts. Oh, we want to thank Sosa and McGuire for doing this and getting baseball. And then they're out trying to witch hunt these guys.
Right.
So it's like, do you hate them or do you love them for getting the game back to where it is?
Yeah, a guy like Sammy Sosa and McGuire, they would just, that's what you wanted to see. When McGuire came up, you stopped what you were doing.
Yeah.
Same with Sosa. You stopped what you were doing, and you were like, what's he going to do? Then McGuire hits the towering, 550-foot home runs, and same with Sosa. But I'll tell you, I've met Sammy Sosa one time, man. Just a nice guy.
Yeah.
Just
You seen him now?
I haven't seen him lately.
He's white. I'm
kidding?
serious. He is white. I don't know what he did, man.
Wow.
But he bleached his skin. He is completely white.
Wow.
He's not white like me and you. He's like a weird looking white.
Dang.
Yeah, it's
We'll
crazy.
have to Google that later, man.
Why later? We can do that right now.
Let's do it right now. Let's do it.
Oh, let's see. This is where the break music plays. This is when I need a producer. This is they got to be on top of this stuff. Oh yeah. So let's see.
Wow.
Hey, look at this. Look at it right here, man.
What in the world, Sammy?
What has he done?
Golly.
There was a Netflix special. I can't remember the name of it. Or maybe it was a 30 for 30 on the home run race between him and McGuire, and he lives, I can't remember if he lives in, is it Cuba or Puerto Rico?
He's Dominican.
Dominican, okay. Yeah. And they went out there and did an interview with him, and man, he just didn't seem like the same person.
Wow.
Yeah, he's completely bleached his skin. You know, went Michael Jackson up in here.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy, man.
Dang, man. That's wild.
There's also another show on Netflix. It's about the whole, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank.
You talking about fastball? Who threw the fastest pitch? And
No, it's about the whole controversy with the steroids and A-Rod and is it not Balco or you know what? I can't remember. Yeah. I should have done my damn research. I didn't know we were going to talk about steroids.
I played against A-Rod. I remember when he came into the Mariners. And he was just this little frail guy. And I mean,
he was still hitting home runs as a little frail guy.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
And he's a lot bigger now.
Yeah.
A lot bigger.
They all got
I'm not
bigger,
saying
man.
the guy did that, man, but hey, I don't know. But
Look,
it's a lot of work, man.
If you go back and you look at pictures of McGuire, Bonds when he played for the Pirates in the 80s.
Yeah, skinny frail.
They were all skinny, bro, and you can't tell me
Bonds
they
is huge right now.
Chicken breast and steak got them that big. No way.
No, sir. No, sir.
Yeah, these guys
does not happen.
No. But so you were also saying somebody got their first stolen base off of you or something like that?
Thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah, what was the story about that one?
Golly, man, I still have nightmares about this too. But we were in Detroit, and I'm gonna admit I was terrified of Cecil Fielder at the plate. He was just. I didn't want to be a highlight reel with him hitting a 550-foot home run out of the stadium. So I walked him, and he gets on first base and he starts stomping. You know, Cecil Fielder. Anybody's watched Cecil Fielder. He's a large fella, man. He's he can't run. So he's sitting at first base stomping toward second base going, I'm going. And I'm like, you ain't going nowhere. I'm left-handed, so I'm looking at him.
Yeah.
So I go into my windup, throw my pitch. Damn if he wasn't going. And there was a little bobble between Matheny and the throw to second base, but Cecil Fielder stole the base. So he's standing out there, picks a base up over his head, and he's like, yeah, I got a stolen base. And if you look at his I don't know if you have it up or not, but his baseball card, the back of it, I don't think the guy ever had a true, legit stolen base until that night in Detroit.
Let me look up Cecil Fielder's stats here.
But, Phil Garner comes running out he was our manager. He comes running out to the mound. He goes, are you happy? That man told you he was going. You let him steal a base off of you. Look at him.
All 500 pounds of that dude.
Yeah. I'm like, I didn't know he was really going to go, but he did. And it was legit stolen base. I was like.
Let's see. Stolen bases.
Look for the 96.
Stolen bases. Did they even put that on? I got some kind of thing playing here. What the hell is that? Close player. There we go.
Where is
They don't even have. Oh, here we go. I gotta scroll. Bro, they don't even have stolen bases on his stat line. Oh, let's see what's down here. That's fielding stats. This is.
What is that? That's hitting, RBIs.
It's up here. Pitching stats. Base running stats, maybe. Miscellaneous stats.
Stolen base percentage.
Oh, no. Boom. He's got 2 and 96. Congratulations, Potts. You're one of the two. I wonder who the other pitcher was.
I don't know, but I know I was the first. Is that not crazy?
Wow, that is nuts, man. I mean,
13 years stolen bases. He got caught stealing 6 times.
And you were left-handed. You were looking at him the whole time.
And the other guy was probably right-handed, I'm sure.
Oh, God. Wow. Look at your baseball career, bro. You've got 3 strikeouts. I mean, Ken Griffey Jr. is 0-3 against you, but Cecil Fielder's got 2 stolen bases and 1's off you.
Absolutely.
A lot of people can't say that, bro.
I know. It's like, it's fun.
Oh, man.
I just look back on it and I go, in that era, man, I played against a lot of, the Jeters, the Alex Rodriguez, Griffey, Jay Buhner.
Yeah, you played against all the guys I knew growing up. Yeah,
we had a brawl one night in Milwaukee, and everybody's seen this. If you're a baseball player or you've watched baseball, where we were in Milwaukee one night, and Albert Bell, the ball was hit to second base, and Fernando Vina was our second baseman, little bitty guy. Grabs the ball, goes to tag Albert Bell. Albert Bell drills him, lays him out. So we're leaving Milwaukee to go to Cleveland to play the Indians in beautiful Jacobs Field. I mean, I think that was the first year of Jacobs Field. I'm not sure. I could be wrong, but it was beautiful anyway. And so we smoke Albert Bell for doing what we did to Fernando. We get in this big brawl. we're all out there fighting and stuff like that.
Good old days.
Yeah. So you're in this middle of this brawl, this fight, and you're just looking around going, there's Eddie Murray, there's Kenny Lofton, there's, Albert Bell and Paul Serrano and Jim Thome. Jim Thome, humongous guy.
It's a big dude.
He don't fit through that door. I mean, just his legs don't fit through the door.
Yeah.
But that was that's pretty scary, man. I'm like, I'm 5'9", 170 pounds. I'm like, these guys are humongous out there. And of course, every time I pitched, they say, "Oh, here's Mike Potts, the shortest pitcher in the American League this year." And
they always called you out on that?
Always, every single time they did. I was
wow.
Appreciate that.
Well, you know what? That's a good thing because it kind of gives the smaller guys watching, hey, you know what? I can do this too.
Absolutely. Don't let nobody tell you can't do something.
Yeah.
You can do it.
I don't think I know anybody that's ever played professional sports before.
Yeah.
So, I've bumped into a couple of people at the airport, but never had anybody.
Yeah.
So you're my first former professional athlete.
Damn.
In the studio.
And we're here, man.
Hey, man. Well, I was a professional cornhole player. Can't forget that.
Yes, you did. And can I tell a story? Well, we'll get into that. We'll get into that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I want to go back to this right here, that baseball card. All right, so let me put this on.
You see the mullet, right?
The mullet. Did you have a mullet?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I see this. If you had like a beard, man, you look like Don Mattingly a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that.
So, do you have this card?
I do.
Do
I
you?
actually have the gold version of it. I have a few of them.
Do you?
Yeah.
What's the brother got to do to get one?
Man, I'll hook you up, bro.
I want to put one in here on my wall.
Look.
Yeah.
When they gave us those cards, they paid us $2 a card. It was $5,200. So they paid us $10,400 to sign every one of them cards. Well, as you can see, the sloppiness, it got tiring. It was just like, get it over with. I want it done. But you only had a certain amount of time to get them back. So you had the gold, the silver, and the bronze. And they sent me like 10 of them.
Yeah.
And of course, I got them saved for my son and my daughter, stuff like that. But still, I got a few at the house.
Who made those? Was Topps or Donruss?
I want to say it was Donruss. It wasn't Topps. I know that for sure. I think it was Donruss.
Those were like the only. It was Topps, Donruss, and there was another one.
Top Fleer.
Yes.
Was another one.
Yeah, Fleer. Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I remember that guy getting behind the catcher, and I was, that was during warm-ups.
During warm-ups. Yeah. Okay.
So I remember the picture. It's crazy.
That's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's a great time, man.
It was, man. Hey. What an incredible chapter of my life. It was.
If you had anything to do different in that era, would you do anything different?
I'd have took care of myself a little bit better.
Yeah. Party too much or what?
Well, I was never a real big partier. I'd go home, but I just wouldn't. I wouldn't take the time to build up the smaller muscles in your shoulder, take care of your arm and stuff like that. And and I see these kids nowadays, that are playing this travel ball, and these parents, that are pushing their children to, you're gonna play, 9 months out of the year. Well, these kids are still growing.
Yeah.
You gotta let them, your 12-year-old kid's not going to throw 90 miles an hour. I've had them come up and say, hey, I want you to, work with my kid pitching. Well, there's only so much that you can teach a 10-year-old, 12-year-old. Mm-hmm. He's got to grow and get bigger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let him hit that growth spurt. But, I've coached some middle school teams, around the area here, and it's like my kids are coming there and they're breaking growth plates. So they're out for the season. Because they're playing too much baseball. You got to let them grow up, and there's just too much going on with it.
Well, what's your thoughts, too, on – I heard this growing up, too, and I coached my son back in the day, long time ago. But everybody was always saying don't have your kids throwing curveballs when they're in their little league years. Or what's your thoughts on that? Does it really mess up your elbow that bad? Or
people think to make a ball curve – can somebody see me right now? Can anybody see me?
Yeah.
They think that this is how you have to throw a curveball. So you're doing all this not twerking, but the jerking motion of a.
You can't say twerking these days, and people won't even think it's a curveball. No. There's other ways people think twerking something else.
It's all in the end of the wrist. Everything is here. If you learn it properly, yes, you can throw it.
Okay.
If you don't learn it properly, you're going to hurt yourself.
Okay. Yeah, because, I mean, I could never do it. I think when I was growing up, I was never taught the correct way to throw one.
Right.
So that's why I sucked at curveballs. I wish I'd have had the proper training now because I can throw a pretty decent one now. I was like the late field Negro, rest in peace, knuckleball thrower. I could throw a really good knuckleball.
That's nasty right there.
Yeah, and I don't even know if I do that
could.
now.
Yeah.
Shit, I can't even play softball now, Potts. I used to play travel softball for like 10 years, and now my knees are so bad I can't even walk hardly. So.
I would definitely need an ambulance waiting on me after the first inning. Just can't do it no more.
So in 1996, you got sent down from the Brewers to New Orleans. What happened? What made 96 your last year?
They sent me to Mexico after the season because they wanted me to throw 48 more innings. I had 48 innings, I think, with the big leagues. Mm-hmm. I think that's right. So they sent me to Mexico. They said, "Hey, want you to play down there?" And I tore my labrum in my shoulder. And,
ouch.
Yeah. So they told me it would be a year-long progress. At that point, I was 26 years old. Mm-hmm. I had a daughter. I never saw her take her first step because I was gone all the time.
Yeah.
So I remember getting on that plane coming back from Culiacan, Mexico, back to Raleigh, North Carolina, and I was like, I need to spend some time with my daughter and my son, who was, my daughter was 3 years old at the time, and my son was 9, and the light bulb went off in my head. Said, I'm not going to do this year long and then go play AA ball after playing Major League Baseball. Yeah. It's time for me to do something with my kids.
I bet it kind of sucks, man, once you reach that pinnacle of being in the majors and then you get sent back down and then you're like, fuck, do I really want to do this again?
Right. It's a dog-eat-dog world, man. It's because there's always somebody better, faster, stronger just waiting to take your job every year. Not just mine, just every year that happens, and you see it. People going up, people going down, and it was time for life change for me at that point. Yeah.
So that's going to kind of bleed over into this next section right here.
Yeah.
So you retired as a North Carolina State Trooper. Now I'm curious. So you play in the majors for a year. You play all these years in minor league baseball. You've been an athlete, pro athlete for like half of the 90s.
Yeah.
So what made you decide, hey, man, I want to be a cop?
Well, my dad was a police officer in DeKalb County, Georgia. Mm-hmm. And I used to always love watching him get dressed. All the shiny stuff on and, just knowing, wow, he's a police officer. He's a police officer. And a little tidbit, I'll tell you back, every city that I would go to, to include Cleveland, New York, Washington, Anaheim, I would always, the police officers were security. So I said, hey, look, can I do a ride-along with y'all? And I'd always do ride-alongs everywhere I went.
As a baseball player?
Right.
Like, can I ride with you guys?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And they would let me ride for 3 or 4 hours, and they'd take me back to the hotel. I loved it. Just loved what they stood for, and, that's just – I knew that's what's going to be my next calling. And and it is a calling because it does take a special person to do that kind of job. So got home, and I said, I'm going to apply. I want to be a police officer somewhere. Okay. I started Raleigh PD and Durham Police Department, Durham County Sheriff's Department. Well, Durham County Sheriff's Department was the one who hired me first, so took off there and loved it.
All right, that's it for today, boys and girls. That was part 1 of my interview with Mike Potts. I hope you all enjoyed it, and if you want to hear more, come back for our next episode of Hammered, and I'm going to be talking to Mike about his law enforcement career and that dreaded night where he almost lost his life on a traffic stop. So you want to hear more about that? Tune in. We'll see you next time on Hammered. Peace.